Hi, this is Dr. Tom Rogers at Performance Medicine, coming to you today with the weekly podcast on the Common Sense MD. As a matter of fact, I think I need to put my stethoscope on because I want you to know that I am a real doctor, not just one that plays on TV. This is going to be a little lighter podcast because I'm going to term it Welcome to Summertime. You know, it's a wonderful time of the year, my favorite time of the year for sure, and I want to give you some tips on how to take care of yourself in the summer, which may lead into hopefully some good habits for the whole year. So I love summer. The first thing I want to tell you is go outside. You know, it's wonderful to be in the sun. I'm going to talk a lot about the sun today because there's a lot of misconceptions about people are afraid to get in the sun these days. They stay indoors. They're afraid of skin cancer and who knows what else. But you need to get outside and tell your kids to get outside. Remember, the best way to get vitamin D, that all-important hormone, not vitamin, hormone that affects so many things in your life and your health, is to get out in the sun and get it. You still probably need to take your supplement, but there's no doubt that getting real sun is the best way to get vitamin D. So don't be scared of it. Do be scared of getting sunburns, especially on your kids. So, you know, you need to be aware of this, but it's the burns that cause the cancer, not the sun. So you just have to know what you're doing and gradually get used to getting your light tan, or maybe dark tan if that's what you want. Just don't burn. Also remember, when you get up in the morning, do something that I do every day. I walk outside at 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. I'll look up in the sky towards the sun. I don't stare directly into the sun, but I'll look at the sun because I want my retina to get that good stuff, good vitamin D from sunlight in the morning. It really helps you wake up and gets everything kind of stirred up and going. I listen to a lot of podcasts by a guy named Dr. Andrew Huberman. He's an ophthalmologist out of Stanford, and he's also a great anti-ager. And he talks a lot about this, and he's definitely an expert on this. So he also talks a lot about sleep and how that affects you. Dr. Huberman's podcasts are wonderful. So think about sunlight as a nutrient, because to me it's definitely a nutrient. It produces nitric oxide. Remember a couple weeks ago when I talked about the all-important vasodilation of nitric oxide. And also sunlight produces endorphins. You know how you feel good in the summer? You go to the beach, you get outside. It releases your own feel-good chemicals called endorphins in your brain. Sunlight helps your immunity. It heals wounds. You get the flu or COVID, get outside. You'll heal a lot faster. And there is a little bit of a COVID surge right now. We're treating some of it for sure. Knock on wood, it seems to be a lot milder than the previous variants, but call us if you have a problem with COVID this summer. Everybody worries about skin cancer, especially melanomas, because melanomas can kill you. When I was in medical school and earlier on watching my father, who was a surgeon, operate on melanomas, it could be a death sentence. They can kill you for sure, and they still can. But, you know, melanomas, there's a lot of misunderstanding about sunlight and melanomas. There's a fact that outdoor workers have less risk of melanoma than indoor workers. The key, again, is not to get burned. There's no doubt it may be a factor for melanomas. But gradually get a tan. I've had skin cancer myself 3 times. There were squamous cell on my arms, and all of us are going to get a basal cell in our lifetime if we've had some sun as a kid and have lived life. But, you know, those aren't bad. So make sure you annually get your family doc or dermatologist to look over your skin and keep an eye on your own skin. I'm amazed at how some people will ignore an obvious skin cancer for a long time. So, you know, it's weird because it turns out that almost all cancer rates increase the further you get away from the equator. So a lot of that's vitamin D. It's very protective for you. Um, Vitamin D upregulates the ability to fight infections. It produces antimicrobial peptides. Um, they used to, back in the days when they had a lot of tuberculosis, they'd put people in solariums and put them out in the sun to heal. Remember the flu outbreak, the pandemic of 1918 that killed millions and millions of people? There was really no good treatments. And they found out in Boston that summer of the pandemic of 1918 that they didn't have any rooms more in their hospital. So they put a group of patients outside in the courtyard, and they got a lot better than the ones that were inside because of the sun. Sunlight activates melatonin in your mitochondria, which really decreases something called ROS, reactive oxygen species, which is a harmful byproduct of energy production. Remember, ATP production. That's why melatonin is so good for you. It's not just for sleep, but cancer protection as well. You can even take melatonin during the day. It won't make you sleepy unless it's dark. So I know a lot of people that take it during the day for that reason. The sun also helps regulate your microbiome, your gut. Has a lot to do with that. And if you happen to have a high linoleic acid, remember we checked that on the Cleveland Heart Panel. That's a fat found in omega-6 PUFAs, polyunsaturated fatty acids that aren't good for you. Think vegetable and seed oils, which are bad, and almost all processed foods have linoleic acid. It's a very damaging product, maybe one of the more damaging products out there. It's postulated that linoleic acids make your cells more fragile in the sunlight and can lead to melanomas, which, by the way, talking about melanomas, they're often found in areas that never hit the sun, never exposed to sun. Now, sunscreens. Sunscreens can be toxic. I've talked about this before. Especially avoid those with oxybenzene in it and retinol palmitate and paraben preservatives. Or try to avoid that. If you have to put it on, put on titanium dioxide or zinc. It's just definitely a lot safer. But definitely, you can have a worse risk by putting some of those sunscreens on that are toxic than the sun itself. And again, I like that sunlight you get. You have to be really careful with your kids, so cover them up. If you want to tan gradually, cover it up. I think that's a better treatment than using what could be toxic sunscreens. I'm not against them. Use those too if you have to use them. But another tip for the summer is hydrate. Remember that 8 times 8 rule. Drink 8-ounce glasses a day. This equals 2 liters or a half gallon of water. And that's just a baseline. If you're sweating a lot and out exercising, you're going to need a lot more than that. And remember your electrolytes, especially salt, sodium. If you have hypertension, and remember, only 20% of people with hypertension, high blood pressure, are sensitive to salt. So most people don't get enough of that good mineral salt. You need to exercise. It's a lot easier to get out in the summer to exercise. So make that a routine. Remember, any successful person lives by routines. That's how they become successful. And carry all these tips from the summer into the winter. And be careful. There's a lot more accidents in the summer. There's more murders. You don't overheat yourself. Exercise early or late in the day. The older I get, the less tolerant I am to heat. I definitely prefer to go the coast more in the fall, winter, and spring than I do in the summer. I kind of avoid the beach in the summer anymore. I just don't tolerate the heat very well. Remember, your skin gets thinner as you get older, as you age. So, it's more likely to break down. So use your collagen. Watch out for ticks in the summer. Lyme disease is pretty common. Rocky Mountain spotted fever can kill you quickly. Lyme disease is more of a chronic thing, although it can kill you. So watch out for ticks, and if you get a tick bite, make sure you see the doctor. Early treatment is curative. I treated one last week. Mosquitoes. I hate mosquitoes. They love me, but I hate them. I've done everything in the world to prevent mosquito bites, and they still bite me. I've come up with some really unique ways of protecting myself, from hanging hunters' pads off my belt and all kinds of lighting and stuff like that. Mosquitoes are nasty. I can't stand them. Mosquitoes cause more disease and kills more people than any creature in the world. Think about that. Mosquitoes. I'm talking about malaria, dengue fever, West Nile, Zika. How to protect yourself? DEET definitely is somewhat effective, but it can be toxic, and plus it stinks. So I don't like DEET particularly. I like Picardin. It's a lot safer. And use some of the essential oils I think work really well, like citronella, tea tree oil, lemongrass, peppermint, cinnamon, spiders. Spiders can be bad too. We see a lot of brown recluse. That's the most common we see around here. It can really eat through your skin and cause a lot of problems. And black widows can be very toxic to you. Vinegar helps. I always talk about apple cider vinegar. And what I do, I make a spray out of apple cider vinegar. Get it in a spray bottle. Put half of the, I'll use the mother, the organic stuff. Put half of a spray bottle full of apple cider vinegar, half water, and put about 5 to 10 essential oil drops. Lavender, lemongrass, clove, eucalyptus, citronella. And you can also spray this around your entryways to your house and in your yard, because mosquitoes don't like it. Spiders don't like it. They'll keep them away. And you can actually, if you do get bit by a mosquito, you can spray it on there. It'll immediately relieve it. I love local honey for mosquito bite too. I put that on my mosquito bites, and I've already been bit a few times this year. So I like that apple cider vinegar spray. Get your sleep in the summer. It's a good time to learn to rest and relax and recover. It sets the tone for the whole year, in my opinion. Enjoy your family, socialize. We're social creatures. We need to get out and enjoy each other and help each other. Get outside and listen to some outdoor music. I love concerts in the summer. So I hope this helps you. I know it's been kind of light today, but hopefully a few good tips. I hope you have a great summer and develop those healthy health habits this summer and carry it on into the whole year. Thank you. This is Dr. Tom Rogers.